Welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and we are coming up on the last third of September, and I am working on a journal in conjunction with Dear Julie, and it is the Stashbuster September Dear Julie Junk Journal Challenge 2023. That is a mouthful. And she has made an acrostic with the items that we are supposed to use, and it is a stash buster, scrap buster. Just using what you've got, trying not to buy anything, especially if you are hoarding things, or if you are like me and can't throw anything away. I actually had my husband saying, is it okay to throw this away? And some of the things that we are supposed to use are 10 full pages from at least 2 Dear Julie digitals, and I thought that I would go ahead and share the ones that I am using, and I actually had to start making a list, and I don't know that this is all inclusive. And then this was a mistake because I printed this, and where'd it go? Oh, I printed this and this on the same side. I still think it looks kind of cool. I can still use that. Let's see. And then another thing was hoarded, and I have lots of things that I hoard. If you've seen any of my studio tours, one of them is scrapbook papers. This book is probably from one that is 10 to 12 years old, and I actually have 2 of those books. And this is my Tim Holtz scrapbook paper, and I tend to hoard it as well because I think that one's out of print and I don't want to not use it. And then here are my scraps and such that I've already used from starting to put the journal together, along with a random scrap that I just put in there as well. Okay, scraps of the scrap box. So I've got scraps, plus I have a whole tub of scraps. Trash. I have 2 of these totes. Let me just put this up here. I have 2 of these totes. These are the 11 by 11. No, this is the 11 by 11 cube things. I have 2 of these, and they are just full of trash to treasure. And so I am going to need to pull some stuff out of there. Like, this is a thank you for your order, and this is from an old game, and I've got packaging. I've got, let's see, a catalog, a paint chip catalog, all kinds of stuff. A flyer, a box, a Kleenex box is in there. Just all kinds of stuff that is useful. Packaging, obviously. This is a life insurance proposal, but it had this really, really cool texture on there. I wonder if I can use that because my book is blue. I don't know. We'll just see. These are the pages that I took out of my book. I am repurposing this book. It's called Rab and His Friends. This book is from the late 1800s. And the inside, I took a photo and I'll insert it right here. That I have hoarded, I have a ledger book. I have a couple of them and I don't use them because it's 1914. I have trouble finding ledgers that aren't real expensive, and so I'm very particular, I guess. A little vellum envelope, and I just picked out stamps in colors that would go with the inside of the journal. So I've got greens and browns and reds, and I think I actually have a blue one in there. I think that I also get to use like stamps. Textures, I pulled out my grit paste translucent because I've got some ideas for using that in the journal. Envelopes, I pulled out some envelopes that I think will fit. These, you know what, I'm not even sure. I'll have to check. Ooh, I'll probably have to alter the envelopes somehow because those are a little bigger than my journal. But I'll figure it out. It'll be just fine. This is where the front two pages of that book were glued together for some reason, and I really tried to take them, separate them from each other as best I could, and that's what I ended up with. And I'm just going to use those somewhere in there, in collage or whatever. And we've got 12 different things that we need to make, some of which I've already made. I would highly suggest going to Dear Julie's videos because she explains each and every one of them, which is good for me because I had to watch this particular one to make this particular thing. I had to watch it like 3 or 4 times at the beginning just to know how to do it. And then we get to make all of these things. All right, my allergies are acting up, and so my nose is, I'm going to try to get all the sniffles out, but if I don't, I apologize. So here's what I have so far. Like I said, I gutted this book and saved the inside pages. I don't think I'm going to do anything to the outside except for maybe cover up the title. I don't know yet. But I recovered the inside with this scrapbook paper, and I first wadded up the scrapbook paper after cutting it to size, and then I just went over it with my ink pad and added a little bit to highlight all of those crinkles and wrinkles. And then I just glued it down. I am going to make it a 2 signature. It was originally like this, and I'm going to flatten it out a little bit. And then I put together, I love this, look at this. That goes together so well. I put together my signatures. I have not sewn them together yet because I don't know what all I need to do for Julie's stuff, but I can do a short flip through real quick. This is a piece of paper that I think you use for planning kitchen remodels and laundry room remodels. It's pretty old. It was in a pack of old papers that I got. It feels kind of like waxed paper, but kind of not like waxed paper. So I am going to work on a couple of things in here, and I invite you to join me if you would like. All right, so a double tuck is one of the items that we are supposed to be making, and that just uses an envelope. All right, so I'm going to show you. It can be really hard sometimes to figure out how to do an envelope. I'm just going to make a really simple one out of this. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off these edges here. All right, one of the first things I'm going to do after that is I'm going to determine how big I want my envelope to be, and I want to make sure that it's going to fit inside of the journal. So I am going to go right about here with it, and I think that that tore crooked whenever I ripped it for another thing, so I am going to just trim that off. And we're just going to fold this down. Very, very simple. Now I do want to make this a little bit easier to get into. My ruler's right here. This is about 5 inches, so about 2.5 inches on my envelope punch. I'm just going to do that, and I like that thumb notch much better than the half circles. Personal preference, you do what you like. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to ink a little bit, because when I cut, I ended up with some white edges because it is printed on white paper. If you print on a colored paper, it's not going to happen to you. And I'm using brushed corduroy Distress Oxide. It doesn't show up a whole lot on this particular paper, and I don't really need it to. I just want the white to not show. And you may not even be able to see that on the camera, but I can see it in real life. And then I'm going to also do that on here. It'll show up a little bit more here in the body. Again, not a whole lot, but enough. Matter of fact, you probably don't notice it until I open the paper. But it's the divine is in the details, is what I like to say. All right, at this point, we can glue our envelope. Now, there is one more thing you could do if you wish. You could round your corners here, do whatever it is that you need to do. I am actually going to refold this because I know that it's going to wrap around a paper, and I want to have just a little bit of leeway. So I'm going to fold it like 1/8 of an inch, just a tiny little bit, because it, like I said, it's going to wrap around a page. And if I do this, it gives it a little bit more room to be closed and have everything lay flat against the page, instead of the page being here and the things on either side going that way. And I should have done that before I inked the first time, but that's okay. You can always ink again. Filled my glue bottle, partly because it was getting low before when I left the studio last. I didn't even get in the studio yesterday. And partly because I came in to the studio this morning and it was laying on its side and there was a puddle of glue on my countertop. So I had to refill the glue. So it's got nice fresh glue in there now. All right, and I have a string going across there that I'm going to rub off before I close this. Now, if you wanted to line it, you would have done that before now. If you decide that you want to, it's not too late. Or you can just take your ink pad, and nobody's going to see that part. And so I'm just going to do that. No one's going to see this. That little bit right there is all that's going to show. Let's pick a page to put this on. And I want to do this before I sew things in because I may have to rearrange things. Let's see. Might be easier to do if I take my binder clip off. And you can audition it. Make sure that it's something that you want, that it looks the way you want it to. That's not bad. Okay, now that could be fun. If I could get that aligned just like that to where it matches up. Okay, I'm going to put that right there because I think that's going to be fun, and that doesn't look too bad on that page. So yeah, I'm just going to sneak a peek at the rest of it to make sure that's what I want to do. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this over to the side. All right, and to make a double tuck Julie style, Dear Julie, Julie style, all it is an envelope flap that you have glued down in such a way that it's got two pockets. So we're going to put glue here and here and here. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue right there just to make sure everything hangs on the way it's supposed to. I am not going to put glue on this little gusset part that we made because that kind of defeats the purpose. But I am going to put glue right down beside it. Glue down there, glue down there, and then in the center-ish. All right, now let's get this lined back up because I just think that was fun. Where was it? Right there? Yes. And now, let's see if any of these are small enough. I don't think they are. I could cut that one in half. I think that that's going to be way too much of that same image, same design. Now those would be pretty. And actually, I could just fold this and fold this. And there's that one. And there's that one. Obviously I would need to finish those two, and I need to come back and do some decorating and embellishing. But now we've got that, and then this, we've got room to fill this pocket. This is just to show you. And then when that closes, you can see that it's laying flat on the page. Flatter. It's not sticking out to the sides. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. All right, now each of these things that we make on this list has to be embellished or enhanced with 3 other things. So this has already been inked. Let's see what else I've got that can go on there. I've got some, ooh, I've got Tim Holtz fabric tape. I don't remember what the repeat print looks like, so let's see where this goes. Oh my goodness, that is sticky stuff. Right there at the beginning. Of course, it's supposed to be. All right, so there's the repeat. There's no red in there. It is all green and blue, which works really well, but since it is red roses, I think I want something with a little bit of red. So I have this other roll. Let's see if it would work. If I just did that part, let's try this. Okay. And I'm wrapping around onto green, but that green really doesn't match the green on here. So I could do this. I could put this right up here against this edge and I don't lose my little continuation there. Yep, I'm going to put this on there and then we'll figure out the rest of it. Okay, so I've got that. All right, I'm going to put these up here because I don't want to lose them because I think that that looks good in there. But I am going to just take this page out and set it to the side because I want I am going to use some of my distress. And I am going to use this little piece down here with the circle-ish stuff. And this is the translucent grit. And so it's got a texture besides being a texture. I don't know how to explain that. But I don't want any of that floral swirl. So I am going to just avoid it. And I don't want this line over here, so I'm going to kind of avoid it as well. And just make it randomly end right about there. And I did bring over this so that I can scrape off a bunch of the extra. See how much I scraped off? Because even though this little tool right here works really well for spreading it, it leaves it kind of thick. So I'm going to carefully lift that up. And I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to go wash my tools real quick. Now, something I do want to do, I don't want this to seal that bottom pocket shut. So I am going to take a pair of tweezers or some other tool, whatever tool you have, and I'm going to lift that up and away from the paste. Should put my lid on. And let's see, while I am waiting for that to dry, I've inked, I've got the washi tape, I've got the stencil. I feel like I want to do one more thing. I have my Spectrum Noir glitter markers. I need to decide what color metallic I'm going to use for this journal. And I think I'm going to use silver. So I'm going to use my silver marker, which I haven't used yet. So I'm going to have to get it primed. And in order to do that, you take the cap off. You take this part off of the barrel. The barrel is full of ink. You take the yellow keeper off. And then when you put this back on, it will puncture the inside of the barrel where the ink is. The brush is usually stiff, so I will do that just to soften it. And then I squeeze about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Woo! That one's juicy. See how that came out really fast? It started out white. I don't think I showed you specifically that it started out white. So let's see if I've got another one that hasn't been opened. There we go. It comes white. This one will be hot pink after it gets started. But this one is sterling silver. And so what I do is I can do that and see the splats. Now that's a dark silver. I don't know if I want that dark. So let's look at another one. Just because my metal's going to be silver doesn't mean that everything else has to be silver. What would go well with that? Maybe some of the olive green to pick up on that green that's under the... I don't know if you can see that. It's still kind of dark because that's the olive green. But it doesn't dry that dark. It dries more this way. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put some little splatters. Maybe some bigger splatters. There we go. That's more like it. And that'll give it just a little bit of sparkle. I'm going to keep that out since I've already used it so that I know to use it next time for some continuity. Or maybe not next time, but you know. All right, so there is one page done. Let's go ahead and make these cards while this is drying. Got just a little bit of it on there, but that's okay. Because we've got that on the back side. It'll be fine. I'm not sure how that got down there. But it got down there. All right, I need to set this to the side. And I need to go ahead and make some journaling cards out of these. This is scraps. This is my dyed paper scraps. Let's see if we've got anything that'll fit really well on the back of those cards. That one will, but it's boring. But it may be the one that I get because it looks like everything else is pretty narrow. Yeah, too narrow, unless I go like that. Well, there's, let's see, is that wide enough? That is. Okay, we'll use that. And so I am first just going to glue these together. Yes, there's dots on the back. I don't know what this tool is originally meant for. It says BioColor, so I guess it was an art supply. But I really like it, especially when I have to use glue stick to put together papers that I need to be really, really flat with no air bubbles. I'm guessing a card would work just as well, like my cruise card that I used a minute ago to scrape off the excess of the texture paste. But this one has a little more give than a gift card does, while still being firm, and it's got this grippy thing in the middle. And that may be why I like it so much, is the grippy thing in the middle. And even though this is coffee dyed paper, I had a little bit of white edge around the digital, so I am going to just go ahead and hit that so that I don't have white interfering with the whole look. And I am thinking that with all of the digitals I have, I don't really have any fussy cuts, so I may go back and see if I have any fussy cuts with Julie's digitals. I know I do. What I mean by if I have any is if I have any I want to use. Because it's just like you go in to get dressed in the morning and you're in your closet and you say, I have nothing to wear. Well, you got a closet full of clothes. You got something to wear. You just don't have anything to wear that goes with what you want to be today. And it's kind of the same thing with digitals. I have got dozens and dozens and dozens of Julie digitals. I just need to find the one that goes with what I want these to be today. All right, and then those are going to be folded in half, so I'll just refold them. If I can find where I had them folded. And if I can't, I'll make a new one. Find a new fold. Oh my goodness. See, this is what happens when you craft with me. When I don't have things planned out, this is what happens. And I don't usually do the ones where I'm just figuring it out as I go. Trying to stretch myself here, and I'm stretching you right along with me, like it or not. Okie doke. Let's see. That should go there. That marks the top of my location that I need to be. These two go in that piece that is drying. Set them over there. What next? We'll do 2 projects today, and I think that will be good. So let's go to the other signature and see which page could handle a double edge pocket. And if you don't know what a double edge pocket is, I'm getting ready to show you because I didn't either and had to look it up. And it's what I call a page hugger, except for it is glued down. At least I think that's what it is. That's what I could figure out. I think this is going to be a good page. This pink will be good. Yep, and we'll do this side. Let me turn that way so I know that's the section it came out of. And what we're going to do is basically we're going to figure out how tall we need this to be, which is just the height of your page. And then we're going to fold it in half. And I am going to go ahead and ink all of the edges. All right, and then it's as simple as we're just going to glue it on. And you can make it one pocket, you can make it two pockets, you can do whichever way you want. You can do two on one side and one on the other. That works too, and that's probably what I'm going to do here. But I think I want to do something else to it before I add all the other stuff. All right, I'm just going to take this off the ring so that I don't have to keep carrying the whole thing around. It's a good way to store your stencils that are all the same size, by the way. Just put them on a ring, and I don't know, it just works for me. And so I am going to take this and I am going to ink the whole thing with, I think, what color I think I'm going to use the green. I think I'm going to use the old paper. And I'm not going to go heavy. And really, it's hard to go heavy if you use this little finger dauber because you just don't have much room to put pressure down. And so it's going to come across very light. But if you find out after you have inked it that it didn't come across as light as you would like, you can spray water on it and then lay a paper towel on it, and it will pick up some of the excess ink because the distress inks and oxides are water reactive. And so if you spray a little water on it and then put the paper towel on it, it's going to lift up some of the ink. Now, I don't work much with the distress inks. I work more with the oxides. Probably because my first experience was with the oxides, and that's just what I'm used to. I have a couple of inks, but I haven't played with them very much. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to have to go back and re-ink the edges with the brushed corduroy because this covered up most of that. But there we go. I like that. It's very subtle. Very subtle. I am going to dry it real quick. All right, I like that. I do like that. Got some glue on my table there. My paper towel was sticking. Now, I need to add a couple of other things to this. Ooh, this might be a good place for this little section. I think I just want to use, whoops, wrong scissors. Just want to use that section. I probably could have used that piece. Yeah, oh well. I think I'm actually going to make this into a tab. So I'm going to fold this in half, the way it's going to go on the page. And I'm actually not going to go halfway. I'm going to come out a bit. Like just like that. And those flowers are the same color as those flowers. I love it when that works. And on this side, I'm not going to fold all the way over. I'm just going to come in probably the same amount. And then I'm going to press it down to itself because it is adhesive fabric. And it's very, very sticky. And so it'll stick to itself really, really well. And I think I want to put, I'll put a little safety pin on there that I will add something to later. Right on the tab. I'll just go through the fabric part. It's one stiff safety pin. There we go. All right, that's going to be cute. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit those edges again where I undid the inking with the stencil. Maybe I should have stenciled first. Why do things in a way that makes sense? I don't know. All right, and decided I was going to go on this side. So it'll fit on there just like that. I just need to glue. And on this one, I'm going to make it a large tag. Or a large pocket, and then I'll make it a small pocket on the other side. So I know I need to go all the way across both ends. And I go up the middle just for a little extra, because I'm extra. And then I go the center for this side. It's kind of like that double tuck on the envelope. All right, and so this will be a large pocket. I'm actually going to make a little booklet out of this one. That's why I kept it uncut in the middle. Let's see, I'm probably going to have to cut just a little bit off. No, it fits in there. Well, look at that. So there's that side. I will not go ahead and make that booklet today. I'll do that at a different time. Oh, that's funny. I have this going on. Oh well, I may switch out a page. I'm not sure. All right, and so on the back side of it, inside here, I have room for 2 small tags, and I think we already went through this. These are going to be bigger, so a couple of my landscape tags may fit right in there. We'll see. Here's one. Okay, we have a lot of this guy because look, I've got that, and then he's on the other side as well. How many of those did I print? I don't know. Let's see. If I cut that one down a little bit, I'm going to have to cut them both down. And I don't want to use that one. How about, I have all these over here that I just printed. That were from freebies and other kits so that I would have a little more variety. got my counter cleaned off a lot, and so now everything that's on here is this kit pretty much. So I need, let's see, that's going to be too big. I'm going to put this here, but I may have something on one of these pages that'll fit correctly. Oh, that's one of the boo-boos. We'll not use that right now. Let's see. We've got the 2 postcards. Those would probably fit. The flinch cards are too big. And those are too big. I'm thinking the postcards may be the winner chicken dinner. All right, I'll come back and find some fussy cuts to put on those. They are already printed on the back, so I don't really need to do anything in order to make writing space. However, I do want to switch that out because that's just not going to work there with that one being the next page. Can I do a smaller one there? I can do a smaller one there and still make it a booklet. One of the required inserts is we have to use 2 index card journaling cards. And so this is my first one, and I'm using an extra large index card so that I can cover the entire inside of this little, what do you call it, a bifold, I guess. Just like that. And I am going to grab my stencil here that I used and my little spray mister, and I am going to spray the ink that's on here to reactivate it, and then I'm going to put it on that card. And so I probably better get this prepared here. Go. So I'm just going to spray. I'm going to take it over here. You will not be able to see it. And I'm just going to place it face down. And take another piece of paper just to press. And I don't mind if ink gets on the back of this one. It's really pretty. One of Julie's. And then when I lift it up, I have that pretty design. And I hope that the camera can pick up those details in there. I think that's just gorgeous. I love the way that doing that turns out. It's so pretty. We're just gonna fold it in half again. Gosh, I've got things falling. I just moved a couple of frames to get to my index cards. That's what that crash was. It was one of the frames falling over. But it didn't sound like glass broke, so I think we're good. All right, and that's going to require 3 things. And so I've got, index card has the digital and inking and a stencil stamp. Is that how I'm going to put that, as a stencil stamp? Let's see. Let's add just a little bit to it. Maybe a bit of the original book page. Just down in that corner. I kind of like that. Maybe I want to put it on the outside instead. Yeah, let's put it on the outside instead. Now, I'm not sure about that glue. I just have to be very, very gentle because I don't want to rip it. Like I said, these pages are about 150 years old. I'm going to wrap it around just a little bit. All right. So there it is. I lost my page. All right, so there is our, oh, I like that, I like that there. This is our, what was this? This is I have forgotten what this is. Oh, it's our double-edged pocket. My goodness. And it's been embellished with ink and stenciling and washi fabric tape and a safety pin. And in this pocket, I have one of the index card journal cards that has been inked and stencil stamped and has a piece of the old book glued on the back. And on this side, I have 2 little bitty journaling cards that I'm going to add a little bit to later. Like I said, I'm going to go look for fussy cuts. See if I can find something that I like to go with this. Oh, look how that peach picks up that peach. Nice. All right, so that one is done. Let's see if this other is dry. It's getting there. I think I'm going to hit it with the heat tool. It was almost dry anyway. All right. And so this is our double flip. No, double tuck. And here are our little journaling cards. let's see. That way. And this goes right in there. This one goes right in there. And this double tuck was embellished with ink and washi, fabric tape, I mean. I keep wanting to call it washi, it's fabric tape. And grit paste and the sparkly marker, Spectrum Noir. And then the envelope part I will finish later, because right now this was the part that I needed to check off. And that goes in here. Let's see. Oh, upside down. There we go. Into this signature. Thus far, I have made the signature. I have not sewn it together. Like I said, I'm waiting. I think I said I'm waiting to see what Julie has us doing, just in case there's something that needs to be sewn into the signature. This is my double tuck that's made from an envelope. I showed you how to make a simple envelope. And I've got the 2 journaling cards inside that are backed with coffee dyed paper scrap. And over here is the envelope that flips out. And it's been inked on the inside. Did add this gusset. I just don't have anything in there yet to show how well that works. Let's see. And the next signature is this one. And for this one, we did the, what was that called? The double edge pocket. And made that with this, and it's got inking and stenciling and fabric tape and a little safety pin. In here I have one of the 2 required index card journal cards, and it has a digi on the back. It has been stencil stamped and inked, and then I have a bit of the original book glued to the corner. And on the other side I have 2 pockets that I've got these little postcards in. All right, so there's 2 of the requirements made for the journal for the September, let me get my paper out here. The Stashbuster September Dear Julie Julie Junk Journal Challenge 2023. Whew. All right. And I just want to thank you for joining me in this haphazard, what am I going to do with this video today. Not usually my wheelhouse, but if you enjoy videos like this, I will continue trying to do them. Thank you for joining me today, and as always, be kind. Bye.